welcome back to Redbanditracing. And today's video I'm going to show you guys how to maintain your REVO. What we're going to be doing is blowing it off. I'm not going to wash it too much, but I'm going to blow all the debris off, make sure the tank's clean. I'm going to show you guys how to clean the filter, and then we're going to go ahead and show you guys how to prepare to store your REVO by cleaning out all the excess fuel that's left in the motor and the lines. You want to do that because it can cause premature wear, rust, erosion. The base that's in that 20% alcohol can cause some rust. So you want to get that out. I'll show you guys how to do that. It's really simple. First, we're just going to blow it off. Make sure you guys spray some air in there. You don't want debris in there when you take the plug out, and you don't want stuff falling in the motor. Get all that nice and cleaned up. Now we got that cleaned up. You're going to take off the filter. Just take it right off. Just like that. Put that aside. And what we're going to do first is we're going to deal with the motor. So let's go ahead and get the wire off for the easy start. You just grab it, pull it right up like that. I actually put some heat shrink on it, which even this heat shrink is tearing. I did that because the wire is normally stored in this area right here. And I put it in there and actually cut the wire. So I put a little bit of heat shrink over it to keep it from touching the metal. So you're going to take your glow plug remover, just crack it loose. If you have a better wrench, it'll make this process a lot quicker. There you go. Pops out just like that. If it's got anything on it, just make sure you clean it off. Go ahead and put that aside, and you want to get that seal out. So you want to flip it over. There you go. Make sure you get that seal out. You don't want to lose that. Now you want to get your WD-40. It's best to have a straw with it. And what we're going to do is we're going to put a little bit of WD-40 in the intake and some inside the cylinder. All right, so I already got the line pinched off. I already ran it to drain the fuel tank. So you're going to take your WD-40. Just like that. You don't want a whole lot. Just like that. You're going to cover the motor. And you're going to turn over for about 10 seconds to let that push all the excess out. And then you're going to do it again. Like that. Go and cover the motor. Like that, and you're gonna do it one more time. I think Traxxas wants you to do it 5 times. I think 3 times is plenty. Especially if you keep your car clean and maintenance, you don't have to worry about it too much. And there you go. Make sure you get everything wiped down and everything cleaned off. Get the fuel tank clean. Make sure you really clean in here. Take your time. There's an O-ring in here. Make sure there's no debris or anything like that on it. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take the plug. Still looks really good. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to put on the tool. And you're going to have to do this upside down. I'm going to try and get it started like that. Yep, cut it that way. Let's get this tightened down real quick. This is actually a really warm day compared to what we're used to. It's 68 degrees and that feels like 100 right now. It's a very easy process to maintain this car. Just make sure you guys do this. It'll prolong your engine life and keep it running nice and smooth. That's tight right there. So now it's tight. Just go a little bit to snug it up, and that's it. This wire is a little hard to put on, so I usually just grab it by the end right there. And that's it. that on. See, normally it goes in here, but that sharp tip right here scratched the wire and actually punctured the insulation. So I didn't want it grounding out to the motor, causing a problem. So I kind of just put a heat shrink over it and let it hang right there. So next thing I'm going to do is we're going to clean off the filter. And you want to do this every tank or two, depending. They say every hour, and that's to make sure that debris doesn't get inside the motor, because that can damage the motor. So you take that off like that. I'm going to clean the outer piece because the inner piece is still clean, so I'm going to leave that right there. All right, so we got our filter right there. Just use any kind of dish soap, any kind of Dawn, anything like that, and just put a little bit on. You don't need a whole lot. Go and start rubbing it in, really agitate it. You really want to get that cleaned up. And just so you guys know, I actually bought a pack. I think it's a 3-pack, so it comes with 3 of these. And I did that way when I'm out running, I can actually switch filters and then continue running. And then when I get home, I can go ahead and clean all of them. That way I don't have to worry about having a dirty filter. But that's it, you just want to agitate it. Really rub it in, because you got a lot of oil in there you want to get out too. And then make sure you rinse it real good. Don't yank it or pull on it, just clean that stuff. You don't want to stretch it, because once it stretches and it no longer fits, you have to replace it. There you go. Nice and clean. And fold it up, dry it as much as possible. Then what you're going to do is, I would get a towel, and really get that dry. So we're going to wait a couple minutes, and then once this is nice and dry, we're going to put some oil on it. All right, so now what you're going to do is you're going to want to get yourself some foam filter oil. I just got some from Traxxas, and all you're going to do, that's all you need. Don't soak it, just put a nice good layer on, and same thing. Just rub it really in with your fingers, mush it around. What the oil actually does is it lubes up the filter so it catches all the particles that are collecting, so it doesn't get into the motor. You don't want to put this thing on dry without any oil on it. And then pretty much that's it. Now you're just going to take it, make sure it's secure on the other one. It's got little grooves in it, so it'll literally click in. There's no wrong way to put this on. So just get it. So it clicks just like that. Take your screw, screw it back in, boom, snug it, you're done. Go ahead and take a rag, make sure you clean all that off. Make sure that looks nice and pretty again. Make sure there's no tears. You don't want any tears in it because it's gonna cause a lot of tuning issues. So make sure there's no tears in the hose. Then go ahead and put it back on. And this is the fun part, because this is always fun to put back on. I don't know why, it's right up next to that spur. So I kind of put the back on, and then I take my finger and then I push down on the front. Like that. Wow, I actually got it. So I kind of found a trick to put it on, and then it just sits in this groove right here on that cover. And that's it. Make sure everything's nice and cleaned off. I'm probably not going to worry about cleaning this one off just yet and giving it a bath. It's really not that bad. I don't mind it looking a little dirty. So, and that's it. It's nice and clean. If you guys want to clean the fuel tank out, clean it out. Don't save the fuel. After you use the fuel and you don't finish your run, dump the fuel out. Do not dump that in your new container of fluid. Exhaust gases are in there, and that helps create more pressure to push that fuel to the motor. So you don't want to reuse the fuel. Just dump it out. Try and use the whole tank, and just make sure that seal is good. Make sure it's all nice and clean before you put it away, and you're good. Make sure the motor on the bottom, you don't really, I haven't had to worry about this too much, but the flywheel right here, just, you know, make sure it's on bottom dead right there. You can feel it. You don't want it stuck in the top position, especially after you run it, get it real nice and hot. If it's stuck in the top position, you know, when the piston's at the top of the cylinder, and the car cools down and it shrinks, and then you store the car away for like a month, it can cause some problems. That piston can actually stick, and then you're going to go through a whole nother procedure, which is trying to loosen it up. And you can do the same procedure with WD-40. I've seen it done, but that's it. Really easy maintenance. Hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it informative. If you guys have any questions, please leave a comment, or if you guys use a different method on, you know, cleaning up your car. I just use the Traxxas method because this is our first Nitro, so I kind of just stick with that. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment. We'll see you guys on the next one.